What's up, everyone there in Internet Land? I'm Vinny,
I'm Joe.
I'm Pops.
and welcome back to the Retro Grab Bag Show. So we're back here in October, all horror, all month long. We are going to talk about our favorite horror movies, favorite horror movie memories. I'll get us started. My favorite horror movie is also my favorite movie, which is George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead from 1978. I really like this movie because the characters, there's only 4 characters, and they kind of are secluded. I like to, every winter, watch The Shining, as do you. That movie is about a family who goes to a hotel in Colorado and gets snowed in. They're stuck there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in Dawn of the Dead, you have your main 4 characters. They hold up in a mall, they clean it out, and they're stuck there. And it's not the snow, it's the zombies.
Right.
So you're kind of stuck with these characters for a long time. It's very adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen this. It seems like there's plenty of horror elements in this. Obviously, it's a horror movie,
Sure.
but the adventure, the survival element, I think in modern times was taken into mainstream with The Walking Dead, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But this was when even Night of the Living Dead, when they were stuck in the farmhouse,
Right.
like that was big. But with Dawn of the Dead, I really think with the mall setting and there's something about that 70s like horror.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it definitely has it. I own a few copies of this movie.
Yeah, we could tell.
This is the ultimate edition here. So this actually has 3 cuts of the film. This has the U.S. cut, the extended U.S. cut, and they actually did a European cut, which is a little longer, and some of the music is. Have you seen that one?
No,
you should
what's
take
the
this.
differences between them all?
The extended cut is a little longer, has a few extra scenes in it. The European cut is cut around a little different, obviously, but it also has different music in it, which that changes things. That actually changes the feel to a film.
But no major scene changes.
There's a couple extra kills, I think, but the story remains the same. Yeah. This movie ends on a big down note, like it's one of those things. You know, it's probably my favorite George Romero zombie movie. Day of the Dead was amazing in '85, but for me, I watch this every year, once or twice.
Sure.
When I watch it around my birthday. Here's the Blu-ray edition. Here's the 4K. No, I don't have the 4K edition.
Not yet.
So yeah, Dawn of the Dead '78. That's what does it for me. I do want to quickly talk about though, one of I think the most underrated horror movies of all time, The Gate.
I never heard that one.
Joe, how did I get this Blu-ray?
I believe I purchased
You
that
did.
for you for
Yep.
your birthday because I heard it was such a good movie or favorite movie of yours, but I've never
Absolutely.
seen it. I remember after.
What does that date back to?
This was 87, 86.
Whoa.
Right, and
So-
after I bought that for you.
Mhm.
We I think we had a night where we watched it together.
We did.
And it was great, but I'll just sum it up with two words: 80s cheese.
80s
You know
cheese.
what I mean? Because that is just pure
It's
80s horror.
It's pure 80s horror cheese. You're right, but with me, that's what's big now.
Yeah.
Like these kids in this 80s horror movie could be in Stranger Things right now.
Yeah,
you
good
could
point.
lift them right up
Yeah, that whole
and
scene's
put them in
bad.
Stranger Things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean it's
You're right.
so if you're a fan of horror, you haven't seen The Gate, gotta check it out. 80s cheese.
And I believe it's on Amazon Prime. So
You're
If
right.
you-
You're right.
'cause
Like recently, yeah.
When that was out, like the only Blu-ray you could only get it on Blu-ray, and it was up there. It wasn't your standard $10.
I couldn't
Blu-ray
find
price,
it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
so I could pick it up with my favorite horror. It's a tough question because obviously we all love horror on this channel. I can go back to the Universal monster movies because I love those. Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, but every time I watch a movie, I have to go back to the first one. Just like you said, the first movie I saw was Halloween 1 from
There
John
you go.
Carpenter. I think I was 9 or 10 years old watching that movie, and just the scenes in that movie continue to stick with me. Like seeing Michael standing by a bush during the daytime,
Yeah.
seeing the leaves coming down.
Horror during the
know,
day
you know.
wasn't usually a big thing,
Right.
and that's yeah, you're right.
Lori's in school. She looks out her window, and I
Yep.
think he's standing by like a clothes. You
Another day
just see
scene.
Michael standing by a clothesline.
Another
It's
day
like,
scene.
all
Yep.
right, every horror movie I've seen since then it's always at night. You know, the standard
Most of the
stereotypes
time,
that
yeah.
you know, the scary stuff. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm a big fan of everything old, you know, and new. You know, but I have to just say Halloween, and I only have the one copy. But
that's probably the best Halloween horror movie. It has to be. I know it's called Halloween, but if you look at it as a whole,
yeah,
that's people don't realize too. Maybe that if you take all the like, if you don't consider it a horror movie, that's one of the best movies.
Yeah,
like it is fantastic.
Yeah.
What John Carpenter did there.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best movies of all time. Yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah,
you have to pick it. You like Halloween too?
I do, but
Okay.
that's more of the traditional horror. Oh, you know, we're trapped in a hospital and there's a killer on the loose. But you know,
it sounds like that was
the
a cash
beginning of
grab
Halloween
in the 80s,
2.
yeah.
The beginning of Halloween 2, right where they pick up right after the events of the first one, is my favorite part of that movie. Where he's where you just see his point of view and he's walking around, and you know, you see the cops, you see Loomis saying "I shot him" off in the distance, ball from looking at like you're from Michael's eyes. So
and it took off right at the end of the first one.
Right.
Like that's really cool. I liked when Jaws did that.
Yeah.
I liked when Halloween did that too. Yeah, that's the one in the hospital, Halloween 2. Now the reboot real quickly just totally negates the fact that there was an original Halloween 2.
Right.
They just
the latest reboot, the one that came out in 2000.
And they're making 2 more of those too. I actually like that one. But I liked Halloween 2 originally, so I'm kind of upset they didn't follow that lineage, but
yeah,
they had to do something.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
they wanted to make it fresh again.
It's definitely part of, you know, was there over 10 total movies now that
Oh, God.
we could sit here and have multiple episodes
Yeah.
on all of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me. What do you think, Pops?
Pops, what do you got for us here?
Mine goes back. I don't have any videos in front of me, but it was 1973. These two guys weren't even born yet. It was Lisa was a year and a half old. I'm bringing that up, and I'll tell you why I'm bringing that up. We went out to the Eric Theater on Hamilton Street, very old movie theater, to see The Exorcist. It was the most scariest movie I've seen in my life. Now, of course, since The Exorcist, there's been tons of scary movies, which Vinny and Joe just mentioned. But we went out with friends, and we went out to eat first before we went to the movies. That's what we usually do, which most people today do too. I'm 22 years old, and I'm going to the movies, and we had a great meal and quite a few drinks. So we were trashed, is what I'm trying to say. Then we go see The Exorcist. I mean, we were totaled. I mean, we heard so much about this movie.
Yeah.
Nurses, I don't know, whatever state it was, had to be in the back because people were fainting and this and that. And, and so here we are in the movie theater. Me, Mom, and our good friends. So it starts, and we heard so much hype about it. Well, Jesus, and it was everything that they said. What scared me the most was we were right below a balcony. Now, why am I saying that? They say people were getting sick, and I'm going constantly looking up, making sure no one's. I mean, all I seen was, really, really scary movie. And of course, everyone, the ones that never heard of The Exorcist, that would be the young probably today, but it's so popular. It was filmed so good, and it was so real. But here's the story I want to end with. When we went home, again, I'm pretty well lit, go to bed, Lisa's in her crib. No, I took home the babysitter, excuse me. We had a babysitter. And when I got home, she's still sleeping. Then we went to bed. Well, we're not in bed no more than 10 minutes. And we hear noise coming from Lisa's room. Shaking of the bed.
Oh, good.
I said to Mom, Mary, you check her. No, you check her. Sure. I go in there. She's standing up, shaking the crib. I mean, like, it was crazy.
That's the last thing you want to see.
That's it. All I got to do is hit the light on in her room, and she's there shaking the crib, and green pea soup's coming out. It was crazy.
Did her head twist around?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy.
And I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
You know,
What?
I've seen probably. I've seen the bits and pieces of the big scenes, but that's one of those ones where if I think it's real, I have a problem watching it. And I don't know if it's really real or whatever.
That's like my biggest. Like, I saw that at a very young age. We won't get into that story, but it's
scary,
horrible. Yeah, like, it's very terrifying.
And that's what I heard.
You know how many times I've seen it since then? I actually did watch it once in college. I watched it once.
Yep.
I don't have. I mean, that's a really scary movie.
It is. Right.
And I will watch it at some point.
It's because it gets
but-
in your head. Yeah, there's Hollywood gore in it and everything. But it's that whole like it tries to make you believe into it.
Right.
And that's I mean that is
Right.
beyond great.
Right.
And
Yeah.
really, that really broke the ice of really well done movies.
my
Before
God,
that, let me see, that would be 60s, 50s when I was a young boy.
Mhm.
It was Frankenstein and Dracula. But when The Exorcist came out, that really broke the ice.
It was
for
strong.
well
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we were. I was scared. Everyone.
Movie.
There's people in the movies going just actually.
Yeah, I heard that they
going,
were
yeah.
actually taken out of the theater. So people
Yes.
had to leave.
Some people had to leave.
Like you'd
Yeah.
mentioned. Yeah, there's a movie like that around the same time that didn't rely on the gore or the intense possession was Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that one at all? That
Yes,
was
yes.
terrifying.
Yes.
I watched that
Yeah, I only
one.
watched that recently actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's some good stuff.
that's
though.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
awesome story too. All right, thanks for joining us, Pops. We'll have to
Sure.
get you back again.
Sure.
I hope you guys enjoyed the extra content this month, and happy Halloween. Have a great weekend, a great Halloween, and treat each other well.
Let's get going now. Just fucking post that stuff. You're like, what in the world?